Hello, and welcome to the TrailManners podcast. I'm your host, Eric Manning, coming to you from the beautiful trails in Ogden, Utah, but connecting you to wherever trail, ultra, and mountain running takes us. We'll bring trail running to life with amazing athletes, discuss the latest topics, epic journeys, and get you stoked for your next trail adventure. We're sharing the moments that make life special, because even a rough day on the trail beats a good day indoors, and nothing beats time spent with good friends and great stories. Catch us here weekly for your dose of dirt, vert, and good vibes. So now it's time to top off your water, grab some cheese curds, and join us for this week's podcast, where we take you deep into the heart of our sport. It's go time. Hello and welcome to episode number 325 of the TrailManners podcast, and that's our next installment of the Christmas gift guide. The TrailManners podcast is produced for your enjoyment, and show notes are found at TrailManners.com. Come back often, and please feel free to add the podcast to your favorite RSS feed or iTunes. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at TrailManners. And don't forget to subscribe, review, and rate us on iTunes. If you're so inclined, TrailManners would really appreciate any donations via our website at TrailManners.com. And please remember to share us with your friends. All links are in the show notes. Now let's get after it. All right, welcome back to another episode of the TrailManners podcast. As you are aware, this is episode number 325. It's our last installment in the annual Christmas gift guide. And if you joined us last week, we had Joel Hatch on. Two parts to that because there was so much to talk about. And we got a great show for you today. Next week, though, stay tuned. We've got a guest that's never been on the podcast to talk about a 100-mile race that they finished earlier in 2023. So stay tuned to that. But today, we've got our ladies' edition of the Christmas gift guide. And so we have two guests so we can get all kinds of information out, since I'm not really an expert on the topic. But before we start, we're also going to answer some Ask TrailManners questions that we were asked online. But first, let me go ahead and bring in our two guests. We've got returning guests that's been on the podcast during the Christmas gift guide. We have Debbie Farka.
Hello.
And we have Sarah Manning.
Hello.
So we've got two guests in the studio, and we're going to talk all things gear for the ladies. And I'll chime in because that's just what I'm here for, and that's what I do. But before we start, I was told, I got put on point, on check. We didn't do Beer of the Week last week. Last two episodes with Preston and Cody, we didn't do one, and we didn't do one with Joel. So this week, I'm bringing a Beer of the Week. I haven't even tried it. I've never opened it. It's a Juice Drop Hazy IPA. This is from Breckenridge Brewery. It's a 7 ABV, and I'm going to crack it, and then I'm going to try it, and this is going to be like legit. Oh, that snap crackle popped. You heard that, right?
Sure did.
Here we go. Smell test. I'm digging the smell. It is smelly good. So here we go. First sip.
Was that a gulp or a sip?
I'm so thirsty right now. Okay. This is damn good. That's really good. I wish I had another one, but I don't. So I'm gonna be gentle with this. That's super good. You got the hazy in there. There's no description on the can, and I didn't pull it up, but you can definitely taste some fruit notes, if you will. That's really good. I'm gonna let you guys take over for a minute while I have a moment, if you don't mind.
The can's really pretty.
It is pretty. Well, and the guests have some drinks at the table. What do you have over there, Debbie?
Well, what you gave me, because the one I planned to bring had an unfortunate accident outside in the parking lot.
Party foul.
Mm-hmm. So it's the Sierra Nevada Celebration Fresh Hop IPA. You said that you thoroughly enjoy this one.
I enjoyed that one. I do. I'm not going to say anything more about it, but I'll let you crack it. She's going to crack it. While she's cracking it, do it right close. Just don't get it all over the microphone since you spilled already today. Oh, that cracked good. And she spilled all over.
Did you shake? Did you shake it before you gave it to me?
Like I would do that.
Because I know that I did not shake it.
Well, we will get that. We got some stuff to clean that up with. So we'll get going on that. As we do that, Sarah, why don't you jump on real quick, and I'm going to have you talk about what you're drinking, because this is one of your favorites.
Well, mine's not a new one to me. It's from one of our local craft beer breweries down in Salt Lake City, Squatters, and it's the Hop Rising Double IPA, one of my favorites.
Because you like the doubles.
I do. I like super, super hoppy.
You like
the hoppier, the better.
The dippas.
Yeah. Yes.
The dippas. Double
I like
IPA.
The double IPA.
Now that you're all cleaned up over there, Debbie, what are your thoughts?
It's really nice, actually.
Yeah.
I like it. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for shaking it.
Well, I just want you to lick it off your hands, so I didn't know if it had to taste different flavors.
Salty.
It's salty. It's a salty beer with a note of peach, because I have peach lotion. All right, so as we talked about, we got 2 questions on the Ask TrailManners segment. So this one's from JT, and it says, what's your favorite RD race to do while you are trying to mix things up? So I'm thinking he meant road race. So JT, if I'm wrong and you're listening, you'll have to correct me, but I think you meant road race, and that's what RD. What's my favorite road race to do while you're trying to mix things up? 0. I don't run on the road, unfortunately, for this question. Fortunately for me, roads beat me up and I don't enjoy them. I think I've ran one road race in Moab when I was younger. But yeah, I'm not a road runner. What about both of you? What do you do for road, rather races while you're training to mix things up, or just run? Do you do much?
I try not to.
Yeah.
I'll run from my front door to the trailhead sometimes.
Yeah.
I did put in some road miles earlier this year just because the trails were a mess.
Yeah.
Leaving the winter and into that early spring. Ran on the parkway there quite a few miles, but same thing. Kind of hurts. Don't really love it so much anymore. I don't even know the last road race I did. Probably the Ogden half, which is a lovely, lovely half marathon. If that's your thing.
Yeah, if it's at your thing. All right. And Sarah, I know you run on the road.
I do, but I try to avoid it as well. We live near the parkway, so if you need to, get a quick run in before work, you're on a time crunch, it's kind of a go-to, but more than a few miles is really a challenge for me. And I also had a traumatic experience last spring, when all the trails were bad, and hit up the parkway in a patch of ice that it didn't go well. So now I really avoid the road or the pavement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bad for you.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
His next question, part 2, what's the first trail race you will sign up for in 2024? Well, JT, my first race as of this moment is in April. It's the Gorge Waterfalls 50K, which is one I've wanted to do for many, many, many years. So I'm super excited about that. And I'm going to toss this over to you both. Have you guys signed up for any races yet in 2024?
Sure did.
Yeah.
El Vaquero.
Yep.
50K.
There you
favorite.
go.
It's a classic. It's sold out already, I believe. So sorry for those of you who want.
I think it's close. I checked it yesterday.
Oh, is it?
Because Ty never puts the entrance so you can see who's in it, but
Yeah.
I think there's like 60 or 70 left.
Oh,
Good to know.
okay, good.
I have a few people that I'm like, it's probably sold out, and they're like, oh, sad.
Yeah, same.
It
So
will be
that's
now.
good to know. There might be a few more spots left. Go get them because it's lovely.
And we'll all be there.
We will be. That's the only one I'm signed up for at this point.
Same.
Well, that answers that. So our next question is from a local here. Tara asked this question. What is your experience with dry needling? And then it was followed up by a new listener. Hey, Johnny, how you doing in Bend? Johnny has tight calves, and he's like, yeah, I'm curious to know, too. I have really tight calves. Well, this is a great question because I am terrified of needles, absolutely terrified, pass out, sweat, you name it. And I do like dry needling. Dry needling for me works. And funny enough, Johnny, I did it because my calves are really bad. I used to have super tight calves. I've done dry needling. I've actually had dry needling in my hip and my buttocks area as well, which is not nearly as enjoyable because I had to bare my buttocks. But I do like dry needling. Huh?
It wasn't Joel, was it?
No. We don't. Me and Joel, we got above.
There's boundaries.
We're above the sheets.
Okay.
But yeah, I like dry needling. It does get, I think, deeper with that release. I've had it done as well, where at the end they connect little electrode things for electricity to go in. Kind of feel like Frankenstein a little bit, but I do like dry needling. I know I've definitely heard people that say, I haven't really got much from it, but I definitely have. So if you are on the fence or you need some work, you got some tight spots or things like that, I absolutely recommend to try it for sure and see how it works for you. But I do like dry needling, and I had great response to it. Like, my calves are fantastic now, and I'm flexing them right now. But they don't tighten up nearly as much, and my buttocks is always tight, so that's the way it goes. And I mean, not in a good way. But have either of you done dry needling?
I never have, but I've never heard anything bad about it.
Okay.
So.
I haven't either. I was just going to ask you a question about it, though. So can you run right away, or do you have to take a break?
I ran right to my car. I was so scared. But yeah, I did take a break. It was just part of the process. I mean, there's such a tiny thing. You can feel like it. The cool thing, though, is when they get this right spot, you can literally refill the muscle, and that area kind of like spasm and release. It's so crazy. First time it happened to me the first time like that was kind of on my hip buttocks area, and it hit me, and it was like, wham! I was like, whoa, yeah, this beats prison all day. Oh. So yeah, I like it. I think it's good. Just make sure you go to the right place. Make sure they're like super certified, because needles are scary. All right, so that's the Ask TrailManners segment. So thanks, JT. Thanks, Tara, for your questions. And Johnny, thanks for chiming in. Again, you can ask TrailManners. We have a post on the social medias of the Instagram and Facebook on the weekends. I think Saturdays, maybe Fridays. So you can ask questions. We'll answer them on the show. And we'd love to have other people answer those too. So let's get into it. All right, so we are going to talk Christmas gift gear. So this is, as you've known before, this is things that we like for running, either ourselves, we want to try, we've been recommended, but again, no sponsorships through this show. We've got tons of contests, lots of gear to give away on this episode as well. So stay tuned for more information there. But let's start with outerwear. So when I say outerwear, I'm talking like pants, jackets, outerwear, right? So what we're going to do is we'll go one of you, and then the next one, and then the next one, we'll start the next one.
So like back and forth.
You see how that goes?
Yeah.
All right.
I think we can do that.
I think so.
Yeah.
So let's start. Debbie, outerwear. What's on your outerwear list that people must have or you got to have?
Patagonia Houdini jacket.
Okay.
Always and forever. Best all around. Just in case. Keep it in your pack. If there's even a hint of bad weather, or you think you're going up high, it might get windy, cold. $109. You can't beat it. It's light. It smushes down tiny in your pack, or if you have a waist belt or something like that. It's my favorite jacket, and it's held up fantastic. I've had it at least 6 years, and it's in great condition.
Just one?
Just one.
Okay, I have a few in different colors. And there's a purple one on sale right now for $53, and I'm not kidding.
You need it.
Thank you. I'm done. There we go. I'm going to get it. What else you got? You got the Houdini. Great jacket.
Arc'teryx Norvan Gore-Tex, super lightweight, but it will keep you dry. It's not super crunchy hard like a lot of Gore-Tex can feel. Also rolls down nice and compact to throw it in your pack. $400. It's a little on the pricey side, but it's 100% worth it. I've worn that thing in some funky weather and stayed nice and dry.
So this has come up before on my Christmas gift guide for probably 5 years. And I finally got one, and I got mine. So if you're listening in your local, the Arc'teryx Amer Sport outlet store has them right now for $100 off.
No way. That's great.
Joel told me that, and I asked Joel, did you try one on? He goes, no, I didn't dare, because he wants one. So anyway, that's a great deal, because if you can find that on sale, it's a great jacket. So that one's been on the show. Another tried and true. So, all right.
I have one other one, if you're all right with that. I phoned some friends. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember this, but I have my tried and true favorite things that once I find something I love, I will buy it. I'll buy 5 of them. Not jackets so much, but in some of the other clothes that we talk about, because inevitably the designer's going to mess something up. They're going to change it. It's not the same. So I phoned some friends and said, hey ladies, what do you like? What's on your Christmas list? The other jacket that was a must have, also waterproof, Salomon Bonatti. I think that's how you say it. Bonatti. Yep. You choose. $190 waterproof. I don't think it's Gore-Tex, a little bit better price point than the Arc'teryx Norvan, but solid reviews from the gals that recommended that one too.
All right. Over to you, Sarah.
Does outerwear also include pants?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't, because I don't.
You don't wear pants?
Shorts only. No.
Okay, well, mine is a little less detailed. I have several different weights of Solomon jackets, and I love all of them. I have rain jackets. I've got super lightweight and packable, and then I have midweight, but they're all Solomon, all the different styles. And, like Eric just mentioned, we have the Arc'teryx outlet, and you can find some really killer deals on theirs. I've gotten some of my favorite ones for like $30, which is incredible.
It's crazy.
And so that's always my go-to are the Solomon jackets.
Just different weights, different
weights, all of them. I don't think there's one that I don't love.
Because I have some that are very similar to the Houdini as far as weight and everything. And I may have just got another one of those in what I like to say, like the 80s colors. It's like light blue.
Neon.
It's crazy.
What's the model? Do you know because Heidi was wearing the black one that I want the other day, and she was raving about it. So now I need to go get it.
I'll get you I should know this, but I don't off the top of my head. But yeah, those are great. What about, so you mentioned pants. Do you have pants on yours?
I do. So this is where I kind of giggle. I don't enjoy wearing leggings because I feel like you're tugging on them constantly. However, Old Navy 7/8 leggings, they don't fall down at all. And you can get them for like $10 at the right time of year. So Old Navy.
Okay, so on this topic, I was thinking like outerwear, like rain shell type pants. I do have some recommendations for like leggings, winter running.
Okay, yeah, that's where we're at.
Do it now.
But I think this is why I love this show, because we just went like, and we did this on the other episodes. We did like a $400 jacket. Now we're to a $10 pant,
that's amazing.
Right? Because that's what should be out there, right? We want people to have like what are some good ideas, and also pricing is a big deal. Right? Big deal. And we're going to get into shoes later, but there's going to be a whole episode on shoes coming up pretty soon because it's getting crazy. But I love this. This is fantastic. So what do you have on pants? Is that all your outerwear?
Well, I have recently started wearing, which is down on my list in our casual wear. Vuori is like one of our go-tos. I have recently, this year, ran a few times in their daily legging, and I love them. I love them. They don't fall down.
Those are like butter.
They are, and they don't fall down. I hate tugging on pants. So.
Yeah.
So speaking of Vuori,
are we ambassadors?
Here's my problem. No, see, everybody gets excited. So we did the guys side, and I have tons of Vuori. I have joggers, T-shirt, you name it. I got it. And I received an email last week to Manners at TrailManners.com, and I was on my phone, and it just said Vuori. I'm like, oh, cool, they got to sell. And it literally said, we want you to be an ambassador. We will send you 10 things per month.
10,
and we want to share your photos. How much do you charge? And I was like, OM hell. Like, I've hit the mother load. And then I found out it was spam.
Oh.
Well, he called me super excited, and I hated to be that person, but I'm like, that sounds a little too good to be true.
I know, and I got to work, and I checked it, and I'm like, it is. And then I got 2 more later the day from Vuori as well, from another.
At Gmail.
Yeah, one was Gmail. They got weird ones. I'm like, why would you set me up for such pleasure and then kill me? Yeah. Like, my dream almost came true. But anyway, I still am looking for
There's
that.
still hope.
I'm still looking for that Vuori.
Yeah. So for leggings, crops, winter running, I like to run in shorts most of the time. But if it's, 20 below, or if it's snowing or wet outside, I will throw on some leggings, crops. I will say that mine are not of the more affordable variety for the same reasons that you said you hate leggings. Like, I hate tugging on stuff. So the 2 that I have to recommend for you are the Athleta Stash Crop, and they come in different lengths, 7/8, 6/8, total crop at the knee. They're about $89. They have pockets. I feel like they're super comfortable. I'm not tugging on them. They stay right where I want them to stay. The other, they're a little bit more expensive. The brand is LNDR, just the letters.
LNDR.
Yep, LNDR.
Okay.
$148. Their marketing campaign, ladies, if you're into that, it's amazing. Look it up. You will laugh and you will cry, and then you'll want to give them all your money just because they have amazing marketing. But $148 for their leggings. I really like them. Also, they stay put.
Is that a problem? And I don't mean, I'm curious, like, because I know there's people listening because Sarah mentions it. You just mentioned, do leggings tend to slide when you run, fall down?
I've had brands that do, and then you're just running, tugging on them, tugging them at the waist, and you're trying to tighten, and then it's too tight, but it still slips, or they roll. It's a
It's a challenge.
It's a thing. It's a challenge. And
Yeah.
everybody's body is so different. So, I love that we have 3 different solid options so that you can go choose them. I will also say that I appreciate a company that has a really great return and exchange policy. And anything that I recommend today has a great return and exchange policy.
I like it. I'm excited to look into this LNDR, even though it's women's stuff. Even
Ladies
you said
only.
the marketing. I'm like, I want to check it out. So maybe the L stands for ladies.
I have one more. I lied.
LNDR, ladies never do right. Nope, that can't be it.
Definitely not it.
Not
That
it.
can't
Not
be it. That can't be it. I know that's not it.
Not it. On your list, you also had liners. I don't think that's really a thing for girls, but I do know that some gals love a spandex short. And these are kind of in between like short shorts and leggings, I feel like. But spandex shorts, this is a $23 amazing option. No slip, according to my gal Amy that loves these. Bay Leaf on Amazon, $23. And
I
they
have
come in
those.
5, 7, and 8 inch
Bay Leaf.
varieties.
Yeah, and you know who? A friend of mine, Morgan, her and Joni wear those. Like they all turned me in that direction. They're amazing.
Bay Leaf. I love this episode. I think there's going to be some good stuff out there. There's some stuff I've never heard of. Not that I hear of women's only brands, but I still do, right? So this is awesome.
You live with a lady.
I live with multiple ladies. I mean, my daughter and my wife. That sounded weird. I am in Utah. I could get creepy.
Could be taken a few ways.
Yes.
No judgment.
So that's kind of outerwear. We mixed in a few other pieces. How about run shirts, like tops? Because I know I say shirts because that's kind of what you say, but I know there's like women's run shirts for stuff,
Right.
right?
I have recently this year just bought 2 new merino wool shirts. One is an Arc'teryx one. You can get that one at REI for like $110. It's totally worth the money. Also, our outlet. I'm going to shout out our outlet all day long.
Well, that's good.
They have them too, and they're killer. I've also been running in an icebreaker, like quarter zip, and I'm not even a quarter zip kind of girl, and I love that one. I can wear a tank top under it in like 12-degree weather, and I'm warm. So I think that's incredible because who wants layers if you don't have to? And then, forgive me, how do you say, I always say wassail. Is that how you say it?
Wassail?
Yeah. So a lighter weight long sleeve that I love is the fly out long sleeve. It has very nice watch hole cutouts, which
I love
are
watch
incredible.
holes.
I love those. And it's just that like, it's just lightweight. It's nice all year long, whether it's under a jacket or, a chilly or summer morning. So, yeah.
Okay.
That one's on my list too.
Is it?
I love that top.
Right? I
They're
have a
amazing.
couple.
$68 for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Tons of different colors. I also, from a tank perspective, I love the Wassail tank. They have a bunch of different varieties, so depending on your style preference, I like the ones that are wider in the back. So if you're wearing a pack, kind of protects against any chafing issues that you might have. $48. I also prefer a looser fit, but they have, fitted and compression and all of that good stuff. So Wassail, solid brand. They also have a wool, Wazi wool option that I love. I wear it skiing all the time. The other day when it was like 16 degrees and windy, I wore it and was super warm and toasty, but not overly hot. It was great. Lots of gals love the Lululemon brand, and the Swiftly long sleeve, $78. Also a really, really great option. This year, I wanted to protect the shoulders from the sun a little bit more. And I tried, it's a biking brand, but I felt like it was great for running too. I think it's pronounced Rapha. It's RAPHA.
Yep.
They've got a short sleeve, lightweight. It's almost meshy, and it's $70, and it was super comfortable. I wore it for a few of the miles I was at the Bear. Great option if you want something to keep the sun off of your shoulders.
How about you? Any of the others, not the longer,
not long sleeve, but like tank tops.
like
I'm
summer
either like
stuff.
long sleeve or tank top. There's not really much middle for me. One of my favorite tanks is actually Path Projects Andy's men's tank. It's like flowy and mesh, and I think it's like 42 or 45.
It's on sale right now,
sale, like
big time.
killer deal.
Yeah.
I love that. And then
Wait, you said that's a men's.
it's a men's.
So
but
what size do
extra
you?
small.
Extra small.
Yep, and it's still a little baggy, but I just love it, and it wears well. It washes well, because sometimes like the mesh, if you wear your pack, it'll kind of like rub, and it kind of like wears on the fabric, and it doesn't do that on that. So that's
awesome.
really nice. And then I am a sucker for cutting the sleeves off of my beloved cotton t-shirts from all of our amazing brands around Ogden, and just wearing those all summer.
And you got me into that. I never did that, and I always wanted a sleeveless, but I never thought of cutting sleeves off to make it easier. So I've been having her tailor my clothing.
I make my own tank tops most of the year.
I usually hand her a shirt. Can you help me with this? She just gets scissors. Done. There you go. Go away.
Well, we have so many cool shirts from all the things, and a couple of local brands we just love. So it's just nice to wear that.
Any more shirts? Because I know that's a particular, obviously men and women are built differently. So it's like a different thing, right? Like like Debbie mentioned, some loose, some tight. Obviously sizing's a lot different for that stuff than maybe the men are too. So I think it's always good to give those types of ideas. So now we're going to go to run shorts. And this is a good one because, again, everybody's different. Because I like the super 3-inch split side shorts when I run.
Shorter they are, the faster you go.
Yeah, when I'm rollerblading too, that's just the wind catches the flaps just
like
right.
ice cream cones and bananas on them.
What?
Wait, what?
So run shorts, ladies. What do you got? What are some great run shorts and why?
Brewery, Clementine.
Wow.
It's on my list also.
Yeah. So I don't know if you remember this from last year. If you listened to last year, I was on the hunt to try to find some new shorts.
Yeah.
I used to run in the Lulu shorts, and then I changed or they changed. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of both, and I just didn't love them as much.
It's not you, it's me.
Exactly. They're still great. I know a ton of people love the options that they have there, but Brewery is my new jam. The Clementine short, they have 2.5-inch or 4-inch options, $58. I feel like that's a really solid price point. They're comfortable. They're a little bit loose fitting. They actually changed the cut from their first version to now, and I feel like they fit just a little bit better. They used to be sort of straight cut all the way around. Now they're a little bit longer in the back for those of you who want a little bit more coverage in the back. It's not a huge difference, but it's just enough that I feel like they don't ride up. And that's the other thing. A lot of girls have problem with scrunchie in the middle of the thighs. I don't have that issue. I absolutely love them, and that is the only short that I have to recommend today, other than the Bayleaf spandex shorts that we already talked about.
So do those shorts have pockets at all?
One tiny little zipper.
That's the only challenge, and it's in the front, so it's good for a key.
Chapstick.
But
I don't love pockets in my shorts anyway.
Okay.
So
that's
that's
where
not an
guys
issue
and
for
girls
me.
might be different.
Yeah.
I like putting my phone in my back pocket.
can't imagine running with my phone in my,
Me
my
neither.
pocket.
Well, what's funny is I left my phone one day in my car and I didn't have it in my back pocket. I was freaking out the whole run.
Felt like it fell out?
I just felt like, honestly, what I said with the people with me, I feel like my booty lost some weight. I felt lighter. I felt sleek. But because that's good to know.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's one of the things that, gets talked about a lot, whether it's for gels, keys, phones, gloves, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. And some shorts kind of go over the top with pockets. So that's good to know. And I think too, for some of those smaller cut shorts, there's probably not a lot of room for pockets. Right.
Right.
Yeah. I could see that. See, I'm learning things.
All right. Well, mine are also, I have 2 shorts, and mine depend on my mood, which one I wear that day. The Brewery ones that Debbie and I are recommending are a little baggier.
Yeah.
I also really love the Rabbit Hopper shorts, and they're about that same price point, about $58. They're not fitted, but they're definitely more fitted than the Brewery Clementines, and I love them. They don't ride up. They do have the pocket in the back, just a little one, so I can stick my key in there, which is nice, but I would recommend those.
Nice. I love this. Are we good on the shorts?
That's all I got.
Okay, here we go. This is my favorite topic in the planet next to coats, I think. There's going to be a whole episode coming up on footwear because the footwear landscape is changing. And after the 2023 running event down in Texas, showing what 2024 is bringing in shoes, is changing everything, like pricing. It's crazy. But there's some great shoes out there. So I am gonna let you ladies do shoes. And when we talk about shoes, this is the biggest thing to remember. These are recommendations because everybody's different, whether it's a stack height, whether it's how, the drop is, all those things. So, and just because we say it's the best, even though it probably is when I say it means it's a recommendation, right? So let's go. Shoes. Let's do it.
Debbie, go for it.
Here comes Debbie.
So I'm still running in the Saucony Peregrine 11 It's my favorite. They're on 13, 14 now. Who knows? I don't know. But the amazing thing about that is you can get them for like $66 on Amazon right now.
Incredible.
Is that for a pair or one?
No, that's for the pair. That's for the pair.
What?
So I've bought probably 5 or 6 pair of shoes this year training for the bear, and every pair I've paid less than $70 for it.
So hold on. This is I don't even have words. Is that a sale? Like a sale? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
is it because? So what number are they at?
I think they're on 13 or 14.
Okay, so it's like a couple year old version.
Yes.
So you can still find them, but like
Yep.
a 13, would that run like 130?
140 to 160.
Okay, now I'm back in world.
Yeah.
When you said $66.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's got to be per shoe with no laces or insoles.
They come with both. In fact,
Those are add-ons.
a couple of pair came with 2 different color laces if you wanted to get spicy and mix it up.
What?
Yeah. So the new Peregrines, they're average price, right? 140, 160. I love the 11. I know they haven't changed the 11. Like, the upper is great. I don't bust through the upper. The tread is amazing. I just love the way it fits. So as long as I can find an 11 in my size on Amazon, I will keep buying them.
Okay, so let me ask this then. Have you tried a 12, 13, 72, whatever the next one
No,
is?
not yet.
Okay,
because
so I'm just curious if there's a difference. Like if someone's out there, it's like, oh, I've got the 13s, but are the 11s any good? So
Yeah.
you haven't tried the next level,
Nope.
but you say, I like this.
Yep.
I'm digging it. I'm not moving.
Don't change a thing.
When I get them for $20, I'll probably buy 8 pair.
Exactly. Like you're still
unreal.
pulling Pearl Izumis out of your closet.
Maybe.
I'm going to keep pulling Peregrines out.
Maybe. Shh, I'm going to get robbed.
4 millimeter drop, which I love.
Okay. Do you know the stack height?
I don't.
Okay,
I should've
that's
looked
fine.
It up. I
That's
tried
fine.
to be so prepared.
That's fine.
I like a little bit beefier tread, not like super, super aggressive, but just some good grip if you're in something that's a little bit slippery, if it's rained or whatever. I feel it's a nice all-around shoe. The other 2 that I have to recommend that were from the girls who helped me curate this list, the Hoka Speed Goat, people love it, $155. I feel like that's sort of a forever and always shoe that people love to run in. The newer one that I've got 2 gals that run in, the Topo's Mountain Racer, $150. That Mountain Racer is not as cushy cloudy as some of the Hokas are, but a little bit more cush than like a Peregrine.
And
And
cushy, cloudy. I like that. We're going to use that later.
do it, I dare you. And the thing about the Topos is they have a really wide toe box. So if you've got a wider foot or you just, want that extra room for your little piggies, that's a solid option.
Okay. I like it.
That's all I got.
I have one. So this, I guess it's been about 6 months. I converted. Well, I didn't completely convert. I used to be like a solid diehard Ultra Lone Peak. I love them. I still love those shoes. I have 1 pair left and I love them, but I was struggling really bad with some foot problems. So I changed it up and I went to the Speed Goats because they a little more cush, but still
Cush cloud.
cushy cloudy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I had that. And so those were fine. But then earlier this year, I buckled and I got some Mafades, and I have now gone through a few of those and I love them, and my foot doesn't hurt. Within like 7 days of running in those shoes, my foot completely quit hurting. So I'm never changing shoes again. So they better not change anything about it.
Them up.
I know.
So that's the Hoka Mafate Speed 4.
Right.
For those listening. And that
Right.
was on the men's show because Joel and I both wear that shoe. In fact, I kind of feel like I brought that to Ogden.
I think you did.
Because I sold a lot of pairs, but to nobody, just because I love those shoes. In fact, I ran in my Hoka Mafate Speed 3s this morning, and if anybody's listening and wants a pair of Hoka Mafate Speed 3s for like cheaper than what Debbie buys Peregrines for, get a hold of me. I have 3 brand new pair in a box that I won't ever wear. I loaded up. I loaded up because I loved them, and then the 4s came out, and they were like, "Oh, I like these way better."
I have one. I love them so much. My only complaint is make sure you're wearing really good socks if it's wet, because the clothy part on the top of the uppers, your feet don't stay dry in them, and so that's the only caveat for me. But it balances because of the grip on the bottom. I've never had a grippier shoe than that ever.
You
even
make a
when they're
noise
worn
on
out.
concrete. When you walk on concrete, you can hear it sticking to the they're amazing.
Even when the tread is worn, it still grips. I don't know how that even works.
Yeah. Those are great.
Yeah.
And for all those people out there, because we're going to talk shoes later, but I know the world came to an abrupt halt for a moment when Altra came out with their Forward Experience road shoe with a 4 mil drop, because they're a no drop shoe. They just announced they're coming out with that in the trail version.
Interesting.
So I'm super pumped because those road shoes are super nice. Love those. So anyway.
For all that road running you could do?
I wear them in the office and just to, wear with my joggers. They're white. They look pretty classy. That's my classy gear. Is that the shoes?
It's my
That's the
shoes.
shoes.
Okay, so with the shoes, and this is another reminder, part of our mega giveaway contest. So as if you listen to the show, I've been wearing the Speedland, and I freaking love them. I quit saying I don't want to like them to I love them. They were gracious enough to give us a pair to give away, a $275 pair of shoes, and I love these things. We're giving a pair away. All you have to do on Instagram or Facebook on the podcast post is put, I want Speedlands. You tag them so they know you love them, and we've got tons of people already want these shoes, and this is going until we'll have a drawing on the 21st for one pair between all three Christmas episodes. So that's our mega prize, but we got more to come, but that's a really good one. For no reason, all you got to do is put I want, and then you do the little @ sign, Speedlands, and then tag, it tags them and makes them pop up and stuff. I'm not techie, but yeah, you want to do that. They're fantastic.
What's your favorite thing about those shoes?
It's really hard to say, honestly, because every time I run in them, it feels different. Obviously, the BOA system to me is, I think every shoe should have that going forward, because you can dial in the fit. And when you need to adjust, like sometimes you're running and if your foot swells or vice versa, it gets wet and gets sloppy. It's just a turn of a crank as opposed to tying a lace. And especially in the wintertime, sometimes when you get the snow on the laces and you have to crust it off. I love the BOA, number one. Number two, the toe box. It's not old school Ultra where it's like a flipper, the big, huge, wide one like you got alien feet, but it's not the narrow toe box. So it's just, to me, it's just right. I mean, they just feel great. They really do. They feel like slippers on top. The uppers are fantastic. So, and again, we're not sponsored by them. We just love them. So anyway, that's one of the giveaways. So shoes, we're covered there. All right, we're moving on. We're going to go to the hydration pack stuff, right? Whether it's handhelds, whether it's packs. How do you carry your liquids?
I am a Salomon Sense Pro, the woman's version, all the way. I have gone through, I don't know how many I have worn out at this point, but that's my go-to.
What about size? Which one do you like? Because they've got like the 5, the 8,
Yeah, I like the
12,
5.
the 5, which is the
5 does it for
smaller
me.
because
Yeah.
it doesn't carry as much, but sometimes that's nice because you don't overload it.
I have used that one for so many like short and long runs. Also, my dog always runs with me, and I have plenty of room to pack what he needs as well in that. So I always go with the 5. Smaller, the better for me.
And you don't do handhelds, waist belts?
I do. So I don't do handhelds. However, I also use the Ultraspire, like their flip belt, their race belt. It's nice. It has pockets that go all the way around. It's got the little bungee things where you can stick your poles in if you want to do that. I actually wear it backwards because I like the way it fits better backwards. I don't want my phone in the front. But yeah, that one works really well. There's pockets and zippers, but it doesn't feel like you're wearing anything.
I should try. I like that, not wearing anything thing. Maybe I should try
Yeah.
one.
It's a nice option,
Yeah.
especially where a lot of women's shorts don't have pockets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
like we just talked about the women's thing, if you have all that stuff. I don't think anybody knows you'd have it on backwards.
No, they will now, but
I don't think so. No one, yeah.
you didn't know, and you've seen me, so.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you knew.
I didn't know.
Okay.
I don't know how it's supposed to go. Yeah, it's just it's a cool little mesh belt.
Yeah.
All right, Debbie.
I'm Salomon girl too.
Yeah?
I like the advanced skin. The 5 is my everyday pack. It cinches down super tight if you just want to throw your phone and maybe a small flask in there, or your car key, whatever. That thing is with me pretty much any run. It doesn't matter if I'm only going 5 miles or if I'm going 20 miles. That you can load it up with a bladder if you want. I fit up to 5 soft flasks in it. Gets a little tight in the back, but you can make it work. Full price, $140. Sometimes you can find them on sale at our local outlet here. I've never found them on Amazon. Doesn't mean you can't. Doesn't mean you can't find them on sale other places, maybe backcountry.com. But it's solid, and they last for a really long time if you take good care of them. I also have the Advanced Skin 12, $160.
Yeah.
I bought that to do some adventure runs where you need to carry more stuff, more clothing, more food, more water, all the things.
More sandwiches.
Yes, burritos. I mean, I like to make a burrito to take with me on a big long adventure. Also fits a ton of bottles, ton of water, all the things that you need when you're out there adventuring for a really long day in the mountains. But I've tried other packs. I don't want to diss on any other packs, but I always go back to the Salomon.
Is there a reason why? Because I wear them as mostly as well, but is it like the fit is the thing? Is it material? Is it the storage options?
I also love, my hands get so cold in the winter that I cannot use my fingers. And the fact that you don't have to clip anything to like close it or, adjust it. It's just like the bungee cords that flip into like a little hook.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't need to be able to use my fingers to do that.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah. I just personally, I like the design of it. I like that there's storage pockets up front, that there's storage pockets, below the big storage in the back where, if you're flexible enough, you can twist your arm behind your back and shove a jacket. Just, I feel like they're just really, really well designed. I've tried a couple others where it was water bottle pockets up front and anything else had to go in the back and you couldn't reach it. You had to physically take the pack off. And that just to me is frustrating.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's other options that have cool storage, whatever, but the fit, the function, all the things, I stick with what I like.
And they fit so well. It's like they don't bounce.
Yeah.
There's no bounce.
Yep.
Yeah. I also have the 12 that I don't use very often, but I have it just in case I might ever need it. And I've used it once, I think. But even that larger one, even though I didn't have it completely packed in, it didn't bounce.
Yeah.
Well, so I've got the 5 and the 8, and I probably use the 5 95% of the time, to be honest with you, because I do find that when I wear the bigger one, I overpack. Yeah. And I always come home like, man, I didn't eat anything. Yeah. And how did this squirrel end up in the back too? You know what I mean? It's just there's so much storage. Yeah. But the good thing about the Salomon one too, even if you have the extra room, it's not like it's poofy and big.
No, you can cinch it down.
You can cinch it down. So that's what I do like, because I got the 8 for more of that like adventure run idea, right? Because I do the bottles as well. I got away from bladders.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the different sizes. And the 5. I think the 5 is just, I think it's super dialed for the fit too.
Agreed.
But just how it's not just flappy and extra.
Yeah.
Right. And the bounce. I agree with you on all those fronts.
The other thing I'll say about Salomon is the water bottles. They've done a ton of work redesigning those, and they have a wider mouth for those soft flask water bottles, which is amazing, especially when your hands are cold. You're trying to mix in, if you want electrolyte drink or whatever, if you want to throw ice in it. It's amazing. Pro tip, something that I learned from a great friend of ours who loves to run in the mountains too. The night before, freeze it. Freeze half to 3/4 full. Throw that in the freezer. In the morning, top it off with water or your electrolyte drink, and then you've got nice cold water. Keeps your back cold. Keeps you cold when you're out there for several hours. And those bottles hold up fantastic.
And that's more summertime, right? You don't want to do that now.
I mean, you could. You run hot.
Can't you get a filter now for those ones?
Yeah, they have some built into it.
Yeah, that's
into
incredible.
the lid.
Yep, I bought one. I did not use it this year. Bought it for an adventure run, and we ended up not having to filter water because water was on everywhere.
See, and I bought one just to have in.
Yeah, but I've got it, and I'm excited to try it one of these days.
I want someone to try it to make sure it works before I do.
Not it.
Not it. Debbie won.
Too slow.
Is that good for carrying liquids? Or Debbie, do you do belts? Do you do handhelds? Anything like that? Or you just like put a pack on, let's do this?
I have a Nathan handheld.
Okay.
I can't remember which one it's called, but it's got a pocket that's big enough for the standard size iPhone right now. Not the tablet iPhone, the Pro or whatever that thing is.
Not the iPad phone.
Not the iPad phone. But if you've got, a standard size iPhone, it fits in that pocket. You can throw your key in there. I have that just for sometimes if my shoulders are tired and I'm feeling like I'm only going out for like a shorty, but it's hot out. Solid option. It's also nice if you're doing an event like a race or something and you want to throw some Coke in it to take with you, but you don't want to put it in your flasks. So Nathan, it's a good option. But other than that, I have the pack with me 90% of the time.
Okay, here's the big one. This is the one that will be asked until the end of time to everybody. We're going to nutrition now. This is nutrition. This opens up to drink mixes, gels, bars, make your own, always Uncrustables. We'll talk, but there's part of it, right, at this point. But nutrition, what do we do for nutrition? When you talk about it, I also want to know why. Like, not just, oh, it tastes good. That could be a reason. But is it the consistency of it, the ease of it, the calories, the plan, maybe? So what's the nutrition side of things? We're starting with Debbie. We all looked at Debbie first.
I have quite a few. EFS sour watermelon electrolyte drink this year was game-changing for me.
So sour watermelon.
So
that's from First Endurance.
First Endurance, EFS sour watermelon. You can get a tray of 20 of the easy little sticks. Great to throw in your pack. $39.95, $40. The flavor's just great. Like, it was a great change from like lemon lime, the kind of standard flavors that you have. I loved that. I will continue to drink it. It helped a ton.
So that's what you get your electrolytes from.
Electrolytes. I mean, there's a little bit of calories. I mean, not enough.
But mainly you use it as an electrolyte.
Yep, to replace what you're losing because you're out there working hard, sweating in the summer sun. I also like the Honey Stinger gels and the Energy Chews. I don't do them for a very long time. I can only handle those for about 20 miles and then I'm done. But the Honey Stinger stuff, I think it tastes great. It's really natural, all natural ingredients. The consistency on the gels is, I mean, it's like honey. It's like you're just pouring honey into your mouth, which if you don't like that, don't do it.
So it's a little thicker maybe.
Than some, but some I feel like you're squeezing like pudding into your mouth and that makes me want to gag.
Oh man, that sounds good right now. I could do some pudding.
Should have brought you some.
I like pudding.
And then for their Energy Chews, they kind of melt in your mouth. They're not really hard. You don't have to kind of chomp on them, which gets annoying when you're out there.
And that's the Honey Stinger Energy ones.
Yeah, Honey Stinger. The pink lemonade flavor is super tasty. You can get sort of a sampler pack of their gels or their chews for $12.99 on their website.
Okay.
Good way to try a variety of flavors. Maybe change it up. Other than that, give me real food. Give me real food. If you know me, you know that I am not afraid to carry an avocado in my pack, bite the top off. If I have salt, sprinkle some on, or just
squeeze it out.
Squeeze it in like it's a little, applesauce squeeze or whatever. It's easy on my belly. It tastes great. Lots of good calories and fat. I make my own burritos if I'm going to be out there for a super long time.
So you say that, but what's in your burrito?
Sweet potatoes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
peppers, black beans.
Raw, cooked?
Cooked.
Okay.
Man, you got to cook it.
I don't know this business.
Listen.
I understand the sweet potato, but the peppers, I could do raw over cooked.
Really?
On a burrito, yeah.
Oh, they're they're super tasty. I took it with me to the Grand Canyon. I had them at the Bear. Stomach wasn't happy at the Bear, but
so do they store well? Do you have to keep an ice chest and then you pick them up at your aid station, or can you leave them in your pack all day?
Put it in my pack. Wrap that bad boy up. Wrap it with some foil. Throw it in the fridge the night before, and then just put it in the back of your pack.
So you're saying you got a tortilla, flour.
I prefer flour.
Okay,
tortillas.
Flour tortilla.
Yep.
You put in sweet potatoes cooked.
Black
beans
some
and peppers.
Some spices.
Okay.
Some cilantro.
Okay.
I will share the recipe with you. If you want to tag it or link it in the show notes, I will send you the recipe.
Well, I'm going to now. You just mentioned it, so there's more work for me.
You were wondering if she keeps it in a cooler, but there's nothing in there that
would go bad. No,
well, that's
not
why
dairy.
I was asking.
There's no meat.
But that's why I was asking, because that's the beauty of it, right? It's like some things, like when you're in an ultra and you have a drop bag at mile 70 or whatever, it's like you don't want it to get there and be like, well, that's rotten.
Yeah, no,
right?
I mean, they're great. I mean, I made them 2 days before, had them in the fridge. We took them into the Grand Canyon, ate them, halfway through the adventure, and they held up fantastic.
Could you substitute the sweet potatoes for something?
You could totally do regular white potatoes if you wanted to.
What about red ones?
Red potatoes, white potatoes, whatever you prefer.
Share that
any
recipe.
color you want.
Any color potato you prefer.
Okay, share the recipe, because now the people want to know.
Yeah, and if you wanted to throw some cheese in there, you could. If you prefer different types of beans, you could totally do that.
I love cheese. And I only say that because a good friend of the show, Barrett Thomas, is over here, and he's sleeping on the couch, but me and him are, that's our love language, cheese.
Yeah, that would change how long it lasts, especially if you put it in a drop bag, but...
Also change how much better it'll taste.
Air fryer potatoes,
Okay.
any color you prefer, with a lot of salt and yummy seasonings, and dill pickle flavored potato chips.
I like the real food.
Throw
thing.
all of that stuff in your pack. Like, real food makes my belly
food.
happy. Real food, all the way. I have 2 more things mostly for recovery or just maintenance.
Sure.
I love the Ultragen Recovery Drink Mix.
Good stuff. First
Great.
Endurance again.
First Endurance. Yes, thank you. First Endurance, $54.95 for the big tub of that bad boy. Again, mix it up, freeze it the night before your run, throw it in your cooler, throw it in your car, toss that down as you're driving home from the trailhead, whatever. It really, really helps with recovery. I think it tastes good.
Which
Doesn't
flavor?
mess with my belly. I like the cappuccino. I also
Okay.
like the chocolate. They have vanilla. I think that's just the 3 flavors options that they have, but all 3 of them are great. I typically lean towards chocolate because chocolate is my love language. And then the Optogen HP, it's a pill, promotes and increases lactate threshold, reduces cortisol, which is a stress hormone, and improves endurance capacity. I really like it.
So Joel mentioned that in our
he did?
men's version because they had a sale on that as well, like 20% off or some random sale on it because it isn't cheap.
No, it's not.
Expensive. I used this for years and years back in the day, and actually after Joel and I had that, I got some more.
Yeah.
Because I did feel an effect, and I'm not getting any younger, so I'm taking anything that could potentially be beneficial. And First Endurance, a good friend of the show, he's been on the podcast. Robbie Coons used to be associated with them, but he's retired because he's young and can do those types of things. But they have such quality products too. So
Yeah, I have
not
had great.
sponsored by them.
We wish we were.
Oh, all day.
Yeah.
If Fiore calls me, please have someone real instead of you fake people. That's my first one. And then Uncrustables, you can call me too.
That's what I got.
That's yours.
Here comes Sarah. Here we go. And for the record, and this is important to know, Sarah's a vegetarian because, when we talk about food and nutrition choices, right, that's important to know. Everybody has their own way, and you can still do it that way, right? You don't have to eat. You can, like non-vegetarian, because there's vegan options and stuff.
I think vegan is you have to put a lot more thought into that.
Yeah.
Being vegetarian is pretty simple, really.
That's why I just eat.
Yeah.
I'm just like, just put it in front of
put
me.
it there.
It probably tastes good unless you add sweet potato or red onion
Or red onions.
or purple onion, which are the same damn onion, really. It's just a different. Anyway,
Like
go ahead.
lost onion.
Let's do this. All right, here we go. Nutrition. What you got?
All right. Well, the stuff you buy at your running store or have to order online. I love all this. Well, I take it back. I like all but one of the spring gels.
Okay.
They have different calorie options, different ones with, some of them have caffeine, some of them do not, different flavors. The consistency to me is it's really good. It's not thick. My other one that I love, and I can feel Debbie about to cringe.
Debbie doesn't like spring. She shook her head.
No, it's the Martin gels. I feel like either you like them or you don't. And
These are the ones that have no
like
flavor,
them.
right?
Yeah. Well, yes, they don't have flavor. They taste to me like a toasted marshmallow, like a very faint flavor of toasted marshmallow, but the consistency does weird some people out. So there's that. It's kind of the thick gelatin. Yeah, it doesn't bother me. It's good. So
the Martin story, 2 things. One, I talked about it on a podcast in the Christmas gift guide, and I spelled it wrong. So everybody out there, I know I spelled it wrong now. So I'm not like completely...
How do you spell it? Do you know now?
Well, I said M-A-U-R, and it's M-A-A-R. There's 2 A's, right? Or there's a U. Either way, I spelled it wrong, and
There's
it's
a
not.
U.
So I spelled it
M-A-A.
M-A-A. That's how I spelled it. So it's M-A-U. So I did try one of these. So I bought a few back many times, and because I never really did anything long, I'm like, I don't need them, so I just kept giving them to Sarah because she loves them. And then we did a run, and I'm like, all right, I'm trying one of these. And I literally took a half a squeeze, and my gag reflex kicked in hard.
He was like, is this what it's supposed to be like? Is this bad? Is
So
this right?
I didn't know it was like a Jell-O consistency. I thought it was a gel, and so I thought mine was rotten. I thought I was drinking sour milk or something. I was like, mine's poison. Mine's poison.
I was like, no, you're fine. You'll be fine.
She's like, that's how it's supposed to do it. I'm like, here, you can finish that. I will go with no energy.
I'll go without.
I will go with no energy. Just let me eat that leaf.
I like them though. I think the fact that there's not much flavor is kind of nice because if you're doing a race and you're just pounding gels the entire time, there's
sweet.
nothing worse than
Too much
those.
sweet.
It just gets to be too much. And I feel like those,
I will give them another shot.
Yeah.
I think knowing
I also
if someone would have said they're like Jell-O, I probably would have said, oh yeah, it's pretty good, but not thinking it's supposed to be
Yeah.
chunky.
Yeah.
Like
It's not
not chunky, but it's blocky. You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about? It's Jell-O, for Christ's sake.
Jell-O.
But I was like, if I would have known that, I probably would have had a different reaction. But I was
Sure.
not expecting to choke.
I think it's either you really like them or you really don't. There's not much middle
It hit the
ground.
Abdullah Amblin got a really weird angle
I
and
think
just
that's
made
the
me
case
gag.
with all running
Yeah. The
supplements
consistency.
and-
It's
Yeah,
consistency.
It's personal preference.
Personal preference. Those are really the only two like gels that I like. There's no other that I like at all, actually. This year, for the first time for electrolytes, I've been using, like, not now because it's 12 degrees, but the salt sticks for electrolytes. I really, really like those. But I appreciate the races that have Gnarly because I do like Gnarly. So that's my electrolyte go-to. And then the rest of my stuff is solid food. Like, I need real food. I need something that I can chew. That's not Martin gels, but Martin
can chew
also
You can stick them in a tortilla, too.
Good. Oh, that I'll go with the sweet potato.
You can put it on the sweet potato.
Martin also has a really good bar. You've had that.
They do have
It
good
is a very
bars.
good one. The
Very
chocolate one.
good.
The other one is not good, but
Yeah.
the chocolate one is very good. And then
And they
I
have
love,
those with or without caffeine as well.
Yeah.
The bars have caffeine.
Mhm.
That's
yeah,
cool.
the chocolate ones don't get. The other ones are not very good. They taste like cream of wheat. And if you like cream of wheat, maybe that's a good thing. I don't. I took a bite and I was like, probably your same reaction to the Martin the first time.
Probably not.
I also really like Stroop waffles. I feel like that's just a happy treat. Like, I'll stick one of those in a drop bag knowing that, like, oh, when I get there, I get this amazing, yummy cookie. And then real food, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
So you mean an Uncrustable?
An Uncrustable. Yeah, basically.
Do you ever make your own?
No, we just buy them. I mean, we do. We make our own, but, like, when we're kind of in that crunch, and they're
Screw
individually packaged.
Yeah.
You can't.
Convenient.
You can't. They fit so good.
And
in
Eric
pockets.
likes to put them in his pocket.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
That's how I gauge a good short.
That's how we realize that they're
Fits,
really
yeah.
amazing.
I love Uncrustables.
Yeah.
They're my favorite.
Yeah.
I wish I had one right now.
I prefer to make my own.
Yeah.
I'm going with the PB&J. But
Yeah.
Same thing.
usually
Just,
do peanut butter honey.
yeah, I'm out.
I love that too.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Well, you brought up Gnarly, and I'm going to give that a plug because if you right now, and again, just a friend of the show, we are not sponsored by anybody yet. Hint, hint. But Gnarly Nutrition is offering a 20% off code till the 18th of December. You get 20% off anything on their line, and they do have sampler packs, and we're giving some away as well because I use all their products. Literally, I love Gnarly. And again, not sponsored. I love Gnarly products, but because I have so many.
And they have an entire shelf in our home.
It's right. So do plates. What do you want to? I mean, what's the big deal? We don't use all those plates.
Gnarly for dinner.
I use their collagen, their protein. I use it all. I love it.
He does.
So food wise,
Apparently, I like food. My list of food is long. Also,
Well-
gummy nerds. Always like, you have to have that one treat too. I love gummy nerd clusters.
what I think is good with nutrition though is, and I learned early on, and I try and tell people when they always ask me, what do you put in your drop bags? And I'm like, things that you don't think you're going to like because you never know, right? Because you get to a place where if you have all the things you both have mentioned, you get tired of stuff. It just happens, especially over a longer period of time. Now, maybe over a shorter period of time, like Debbie said, there's some stuff for 20 miles, different things. But I think sometimes it's fun to have options because if it's a drop bag, you don't have to eat it.
Yeah.
Right? And you can get it when you get home. But I always think it's good to have options because I've made that mistake too many times where I'm like, nope, this is my game plan. This is my nutrition plan. And I get to a certain point and I'm like, oh my God, I wish I would eat that, whatever over this. So I think that's a good thing to do. But nutrition's one of those things that just is always changing. Like Martin's fairly new, right? Because there's been the old standbys. So I think nutrition is the trick, and I agree with you both. Normal foods are a must at some points, right? Just to mix it up. And I just remember a time when it was talked about so much like, oh, it's bad on your stomach. You can't digest it. You can't do this. I'm like, nah, I disagree now. There's a time and place for different things, right? And it's just mixing it up.
And you got to experiment too. I mean, especially if you're going longer distances, adventure runs or long races, you got to just play with it and see what works for you. You think a PBJ Uncrustable is going to work, and then maybe that turns your tummy sour, and you
Doubt
decide,
it. I doubt
maybe, or maybe you decide that Martin gels are your jam. You know, you just never know. I think
Doubt that one too. You haven't won me over.
It's an ever-changing experiment.
It is.
So I just say, you know, you like that snack, throw it in your bag, throw it in your drop bag, and see if it sounds good when you get there.
It's not a lot of weight, right? Even if you carry it. But, and the other thing too is like we always talk about, make sure you try it at some point first, especially if it's part of your main nutrition plan for an event. Try it before, not like, what did you like? Oh, you like that? I'm going to try it for this 50 mile I've been training my ass off for. No, folks. All right, is that nutrition?
That's it.
All right, that's going to wrap up part 1 of episode 325 of the Christmas gift guide for the ladies. Make sure you stay tuned for part 2, which is going to be coming out. We're going to be talking about all the miscellaneous stuff from headlamps, gloves, poles, sunscreen, watches, what we want, some casual activewear. But yeah, thanks for listening. This is part 1, and we'll have part 2 coming out tomorrow, which will wrap things up for the 2023 Christmas gift guide. So with Debbie and Sarah, my name's Eric Manning, and we're out. Thank you for listening to the TrailManners podcast. I'd like to thank Sarah Manning and Debbie Farka for joining us today. I also want to encourage everybody to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at TrailManners, or swing by the website, TrailManners.com. There, you can click on the donate button or check out our store page for some cool TrailManners gear, and both donations and purchases sure help the show. And you can always hit us up on the contact page or email me at manners@trailmanners.com. Let me know what you'd like to see, who you would like to hear, or if you would like to be on the show. Plus, I always enjoy hearing from you. And don't forget to share us with your friends. And if you could take just a minute to subscribe to the show and leave us a rating or review on iTunes or Facebook, I truly would appreciate that. But don't worry, all these links will be in the show notes. Until next time, this is Eric Manning, still reminding you, you don't get what you wish for, you get what you work for. Now go get it.